everyone, my name is Anna and I run the Reykjavik Tool Library. Today I'm going to teach you how to make candle out of old candles. First of all, I'm going to start by showing you how to make a wick. If you don't have one, you can find 100% cotton, which is used for cross stitch. You can cut one side and then you have a good length for actually making the wick. So the first thing you do is you're going to twist one side while you're holding the other. It's going to feel like you're twisting for quite a while, and you are. So basically, once you can see the thread is really twisted, which might take a little bit. Okay. I don't think you'll be able to see this on camera, but I'll try and put it here. And then basically what I do is I bite into it and fold it to length, and then I let it swirl on itself. So then you end up with this little twisted thing. So this is what is going to be your wick. We're going to then use tea lights. Old tea lights that have been worn. You can get a little metal base from the tea lights. You can remove the wax and the end of the wick that is left on the tea light, like that. There's a little hole in it, and with a needle you can push through the wick through the tea light. So you can. Ooh, it's a little bit more difficult than the last time I did it. Okay. You can just push it through, pull it through, and push it through. And that is your wick. You can then adjust the length to the size of the tin or glass jar that you're going to use. And that is it for now with this. So all you need to do the wick is the cotton. You need tea candle metal, and you need a needle. So that's the first part. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next part. I have separated some jars here that I'm going to use. I have made the wick for them with the length appropriate, and I have those little metal things that can be used for holding the wick. But you don't actually need to use a metal. You can use a spoon, or you can use a piece of wood. You can use whatever you need for it. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Here I have some wax that I have chopped already, and here I have some wax that I had used in a previous workshop. So right now I'm heating, so I have a pan with water and the tins with the wax, and then I have another pan with water with the melting pots that I use for this blue wax. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this in, and I'm going to use this for one candle and those two for two different candles. And down here I have the wax from cheese. So this cheese that you can buy in Hauke or Bonus, it comes in wax, which means that you save yourself plastic, and at the same time you can reuse this wax for making candles. So some people can use crayons to tint the uncolored wax to make the candles. I'm actually going to use wax from old cheese to make the colors. And that is it for this stage. You just have to put everything to melt, and then literally just wait a little bit until the wax is melted. Okay, so now we have had the candles, the wax has melted. So I have the blue wax from the old candle I had. I have a see-through wax, and I have a wax that is pretty dirty because there was some coal in the back of it. So the dirty wax, I'm going to use the green wax to dye it. So that way, you know, I don't have much of an issue with the color. So it will be dark green anyway, which means that it won't affect the color too much. And it won't look too ugly. Okay. So while this one is melting, I have chopped the other waxes, the cheese waxes, into fine sizes, because my intention is, because I only have a little bit of the see-through wax, I want to put this in the jar and then put the see-through wax in the jar, and then the see-through wax will just dip in, which means that we'll just mix and match a little bit. So one thing that is important to do that I didn't mention before is with the wick, to dip the wick into wax, so then it burns a little bit better. And you can just do that with every single one of them, and then you can chop the bottom bit after you do that. So it doesn't really matter which wax you choose to do, if it's a colorful one or if it's not a colorful one. At that point it doesn't really matter, it's just as long as the wick is coated with wax, it will burn better. So I have those there, which means I can actually cut down the bottom of the wick. So if you want to take a look on the green wax, so now this wax, it's a little bit green, it will take a little bit longer for it to fully melt, which means that it's not dirty anymore, it doesn't look like burned wax. So that's quite a nice color. Okay, that's it for now. Okay guys, so a good tip for putting the wick into the jar is to just dip the end of the wick into the wax and then use that to stick the wick in the end of the jar, and then you can use the metal bar to hold the wick in place. Okay. Okay, once you're ready for putting the wax, once it's completely melted and you're ready to put it into the jar, you can just turn off the heat. You don't need to have the heat on anymore, and then we'll be able to move it to the jar. So I'm going to use the large blue one that I had from the old candle I had, and I'll put that on the bigger jar. Just remember that if you're doing different colors into the same jar, you need to wait for them to cool down between between colors, so you can have a different pour. So I don't have much of green, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the rest of the blue here, and I'm going to wait for that to cool down, and then I'll have a 2-stage wax. Make sure that you wear something to protect your hands. Don't touch the tins, they will be very hot. So best thing would be to have like something that you can damage without too much of a hassle, like for example a cloth. So I'm going to then use this one, which is the colorless one, into this, where I just put all the little chopped ones that I had. So hopefully those will look quite nice. Some of the wax will melt away. And now it's just a matter of waiting it to cool down, because I want to do the second stage of this one with the green wax. So I'm just going to have to cool down. And if I have extra green wax, what I'm going to do is I'm going to top this one off with the green wax once it's all cool. So I hope you're following it through right now and I'm not rushing too much. But that is it for this stage at the moment. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes and you can see that the candle is already cured. It's still hot to touch, which means that it's still not completely solid, but I can now continue with this one, and I'm going to put the second color, which is green, into that. And then I'm going to use the green to top off, because the hot candle has the tendency of sinking in on top, and that will make it more difficult for burning it. Okay, so these are my candles. I have a lot of wax left, but I'll just use it for the next candles that I make. Okay, so this is the final stage. The candles have cured enough, and then I can just cut the excess. Ooh, this one is still pretty wet, so I'm gonna leave that, and this one will be okay. And then this is it, you got your candles. So you have, this one has blue and green, this one has blue with a little bit of the top of the green, and then this one is quite colorful. It has all the little bits of wax with the see-through wax and the green on top. If you want to come to the tool library, we do those workshops once a month, and we do other kind of workshops as well, and I hope you come and join us. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys managed to do your candles at home. Bye!